All right. I want to thank all of you guys for joining our session today. We're really excited to highlight one of our customers that's done some exceptional things in data transparency. We're excited for Terry Thomason at Canadore College to tell his story today. So without further ado, let's begin. A little bit about our agenda today, what we're going to be talking about. First off is the why. So why is data transparency so important? Why should anybody care? And what can we do to make it important in the organization? We'll then get into the who. Canadore College is going to discuss what they're doing at their organization and how they're making that data culture that's really driving throughout their organization and what they're doing with Informer 5. A little bit about myself. So I am your banner expert. If you have any banner related questions, I'm here to help. I've been with our company for over 10 years, and I will be here for all your banner needs. A little bit about Terry at Canadore. He is absolutely fantastic. He's been there for 12 years. He does such a great job of not only getting people the information that they need and solving those tactical problems, but really thinking strategically and big picture and how they utilize their data to run more efficiently. The way that Canadore College runs their school with, more efficiently with their data transparency, their ability to have anyone in their organization find the data when they need it. And when they need it, it just leads to much better results. So one thing that we know about data transparency is that you can't make day-to-day decisions if you don't trust the data. So Terry, can you tell us a little bit about what you do so that people trust their data?
Yes, absolutely. So we collect and share important data to all aspects of the college now. In the past, data was always spread in different departments. It was very siloed. Informer has allowed us to bring all this data into one data point and then share it with different aspects of the college depending on what data they need. It's easily found, it's easily understood. I'll show some data visualizations at the end so that our end users, my coworkers, understand the data and they understand why it's important that they're seeing this data. We'll go on to further about data culture in a minute, but a main reason why employees don't embrace data is because the organization hasn't embraced data. And Canadore has really taken a really good, aim at really embracing and sharing data now so that all employees can be in on the conversation.
That's fantastic. And I totally agree with you on that. Data trust is essential. If you don't have that, then you truly don't have anything. So you also said something about the dashboards and how they open up the conversation to questions. How are you utilizing dashboards and what is it doing for those end users and making it so that they can get the most out of them and so it's an inclusive experience for everyone?
Yeah, so in the past, data is always a scary thing for employees because they may not always know what it really means and they don't really understand the data. They see it in very large spreadsheets and they don't know how to dissect the data. Dashboards allow us to put it into a visualization that is easy to view, easy to understand, and it tells a story for the end users without having to dissect spreadsheets and Excel documents and getting information out of our main data source, which is Banner. And Informer connects directly to Banner, so it's easier to extract the data that end users want.
That's great. So we've got a quote here from you, and can you talk a little bit more about how you've created this so that there is this data transparency, so the data does tell its own story?
Yeah, so data is really about telling a story, and we had issues in the past because spreadsheets could be manipulated to tell any story that the end user wanted. And we really wanted to put a stop to that so that the story that we wanted to show was the complete story. And dashboards has allowed us to do that with spreadsheets. And not only with spreadsheets, but connecting to Banner and pulling all the data. And there is a an amazing amount of data in Banner that goes unused because people really didn't have a tool to pull that data out. And with Informer, we can upload a 100,000 row spreadsheet, or we can extract Banner data within seconds, really. And once we have that data, when I put it into a data visualization, it's about sharing data that's easy to understand for the end user. It allows employees to see patterns. It allows them to see patterns without looking at complex data sets. So it's really about telling a story and curating data into information and visual context through charts and pivot tables and graphs that really mean something to the end user.
So you guys have done some amazing things at Canadore College. You'll be showing that later in the webinar. But can you talk a little bit more about your unique challenges and experiences from your location?
Yeah, absolutely. So Canadore College is a fairly small college in the Ontario college system. So we are all government run. There's 24 Ontario colleges for a population of 13 million people. However, it's over a very wide landscape. And in the grand scheme of things, Canadore is small, so we don't have a large institutional research team. So some of the challenges is keeping up with the bigger schools, such as schools in Toronto, colleges in Toronto that have large teams. So we needed a tool that really was user-friendly, both for the administrator and for the end user, and that can keep us competitive with the bigger colleges. We do a lot of breakdowns on our catchment area, which is a geographical area within our college district that we pull our students from. There are 24 different catchment areas, and there's a lot of data out there on those catchment areas that we really didn't have a tool to pull it all together, compare against our catchment area, see where our students are coming from, see where our students aren't coming from. And not only that, because we are a government-run agency, we receive a lot of information from the government, a lot of spreadsheets with data on that. Some of them can exceed 100,000 rows long. We didn't have a tool to compile that data in an easily understood manner. And that was one of our biggest issues, was how do we take that spreadsheet, share it with the college in a meaningful way. Not only that, Banner, we didn't have a way to extract Banner data other than to pull it into a spreadsheet. Again, once that spreadsheet was there, we didn't have a usable form for that spreadsheet. So with Informer, not only does it create dashboards from spreadsheets, it creates dashboards from Banner and multiple other data sources that we have that are now digestible in a format that is understood by all users at Canadore.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. So it really sounds like, from what you said, it's so important for you guys to create that data culture and to really embrace data and use data to use it not only in data-driven decisions, but also informed decisions. I'd really love to know how you're using Teams, that function in Informer, and also how are you using dashboards to really drive home and put data in the hands of end users? Those things really seem important to create this data culture.
Yeah, absolutely. First, data culture starts from the top, all the way from administration down to frontline users. And the way we've used Teams functions is we have probably over 50 different dashboards that we split up depending on the end user. So administration will have their own set of dashboards. Recruitment could have their own set of dashboards. HR could have their own set of dashboards. That way people are focused just on the information that they require and that they need. And they don't get lost in all the other dashboards that aren't relevant to them. A big barrier was that we used to have was we didn't have a way to separate out that data. And that's part of the reason we became siloed and everybody kept their own data, was we didn't have a way to share it in a usable way. And now we do with the Teams function. People log in, they only see the dashboards that are relevant to them, and they answer the questions that they really want.
That makes perfect sense. You mentioned that dashboards are really a conversation piece for you guys. Can you share with us what conversations are coming from this, and were you surprised by any of them?
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise was everybody saying, wow, I've never had access to this data before. And we saw that from all different employee types, right from the president down to frontline users. And it's important that all employees, including frontline staff, see the results in an easy way for them to understand, so that they know their job's meaningful and that it's really targeting what we're trying to do. It brought together faculty and it brought together admin, and it opened up conversations instead of, well, I think this is the data and I think this is happening. It actually answers the question of what is happening. And that's my position, or my job is to make sure that comes from a way that is not aggressive. It's focusing on forward thinking and not putting on blame or anything like that. And that's a lot of fear with data, is that it's going to be used in a non-productive way. So we always use it in a forward thinking way of how we can continuously improve Canadore College, whether it's recruiting students, retention, our key performance indicators, student surveys, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so excited that Informer 5's helped you guys and has allowed you to be that tool that, lets you create this data culture. So you've done so much with Informer 5. I would love to take this time for you to share your screen, have you take over and show what you guys have done so that people can understand the true power of creating this data transparency in their own organization.
Okay, so this is our Informer page. And on the front page, you're going to see reports, your data sets, your data sources, and teams. I'll click on teams just so you can visualize what I meant by how we separate it out. So administration has 30 members, our deans and directors, our executive. So all these different teams have their own dashboards that they can click on. They're relevant to them. Nobody else can see them, but they are shareable if you want to share with another team. Some of the reports that I'm going to show you today, there's some different ones depending on whether you're administrator, whether you're faculty doing a program review, or whether you're a recruiter. And it just shows the different level. So one of the things that administration really wanted was they wanted to be able to see our enrollment at any point in time. Doesn't matter when they open their computer, whether it was in the morning or the afternoon, especially around key times such as the first day of school. We get paid whether a student is still enrolled based on a certain date, so paid by the government, funded by the government. And so administration really wanted to see when students were enrolled, how many were enrolled, how many students have dropped out, have withdrawn, did we give a refund to them? So all those different aspects. And what we love about Informer is the drill down capability. So I'll give a quick demo on this dashboard. So this is a sample enrollment dashboard. And as soon as you scroll over, you can see that we have 7,334 students registered. And so really at this point, there's just an overall number. It doesn't tell you what program they're in or anything, or what campus they're at. It's just an overall number. But what the drill down allows you to do is we can drill down into campus. And now you're only looking at campus data. And you can see that this campus has 2,808 students. But again, it doesn't show you what program. So if we want to know the program, now we can see the program level data. We have 585 students in logistics. So it really gives a very in-depth, drillable. If you don't want to see the eligible over students, now we just see the students who have withdrawn. And this is a very important aspect because we want to be able to see a trend. Is there a trend of a program that these students are withdrawing from? And when you go into it, you could see that social service worker has the highest amount of withdrawals. And these are the type of questions that we want to answer as to why is this program so much higher than other programs as far as students dropping out. And you can see that we've broken it down to different student types, whether they're part-time or full-time, whether they're apprenticeship and partnership. These are Indigenous partnership students. So what this allows to do is for administration to look, they know what students we get funded on, which students we don't get funded on, international enrollment. So everything is real time, it updates every hour, and it's at their fingertips. And you can also have the filter function, but for most of our dashboards, we like the drill down function. That way, end users don't need to know what filters to apply. It's already applied for them. And you can turn these filters off and on as you'd like. So this one here is fairly new. So this is our Ontario College Student Experience Survey. So all students in Ontario complete this survey, and it allows us to look at our survey results based on, this one is based on campus and the overall satisfaction rate for each campus, question 1, which is the capstone questions up here. And it gives you a very quick visualization. You can see here, these are the type of things that we're, again, looking to answer questions. So we would dig further into why is Canadore's main campus's overall results 11 points lower than our other campus? This one here, we've done some polar charts that have our campuses broken down. So now we can see all our individual campuses. These are our main Canadore campuses, typically in North Bay, Ontario. Our international students go to Stanford campuses, which are mostly down in the Toronto area. And within these, you can go into any one of these. So if you want to see the programs at Commerce Court, then you see the programs at Commerce Court, their overall satisfaction. And again, we look at things like, why is this program 10 points lower than all the other programs at the campus? So it really answers the question as to why. This one here is broken down by school. So we can compare school to school of, for example, school environmental is doing very well, right? Overall, they're 91% satisfaction. Most of the schools this year did very well, but this one's 94. So it answers the questions of how are we doing compared to other schools within Canadore. And then we always like to do some raw data. Some people don't like visualizations. They like to see the actual raw data altogether. So this is a pivot table that we've done. Again, we love the drill down function. So this is the campus. This is the school at those campuses. And then now you compare programs side by side. And as you see, everybody can see every program. We're all about data transparency. Other programs can see other programs' information. They can see how they're doing. And again, it's just about driving a conversation of, why is one school at 91% overall and why is one at 57% overall? And again, it's about continuous improvement. It's not about, saying, oh, this is really unfortunate. It's about how can we get this program up to where these programs are. And we like to do raw data on all of our dashboards, or as many as we can. The next one I'm going to show you is our program review process. So every 5 years, a program has to go through a program review process that is really just about past performance, how it's doing, how it's done recently. And on this one here, we can see how many applications that we've received over the last, on this one here, it's about the last 15 years. And sometimes if there are really big ups and downs, then we extract the data and do a control chart and see if we're in a range that is okay. Because sometimes with the charts, you may see that depending on how big the numbers are, the extremes may look really extreme, but really because the numbers are small, they're not that extreme. So having the dashboard gives the visualization to the end user of those instances. You can see the trends over time. This program here kind of started low, went up, kind of went back down. This is a new program, so that's why there's only 2 years data available. Our domestic students, down here is our application market share. So as I mentioned in the beginning, there's 24 Ontario colleges. So we can see the 3 other colleges that offer this program in the Ontario College system. We can see how many applications they received compared to ours. We can see whether they're increasing. And this answers the question, if our applications are dropping, are we losing students to another college that offers the same program? And we can dig a lot deeper into this as to whether they're coming from our catchment area or they're coming from other catchment areas. And this one here was the applications, and this one here is the enrollment. And so what we like to look at between the applications and the enrollment is our conversion rates. Okay, although Centennial College had a large number of applications, it's really not converting into a lot of enrollment for them. So we like to see the conversion rates. And then same for international student enrollment. International student enrollment in Ontario is really taking off. We had about 500 international students about 6 years ago. Now we're up to over 5,000 international students this year. So it is a huge market for us and very important that we're keeping an eye on it. This chart here is program choice based on the application. So in Ontario, a student can apply to up to 5 colleges on one application. And we like to know whether Canadore was their first choice, their second choice, third choice, fourth choice, or fifth choice. We know that we can convert. So these are first choice applicants at the bottom. We had 89 of them, which is the biggest portion here, which is a good thing. We know that we can convert approximately 70% of our first choice applicants. As we drop down further on their application choice into their fourth and fifth, we know we can only convert about 20% of those applicants. So it's extremely important that we remain top of mind for students. We're their first choice on their application. And so we run this for every program on a yearly basis to see how we're doing. And this is a good example for this program that, you know, a large portion was first choice, but that first choice is shrinking. Okay. And that could be concerning. There could be multiple reasons for that, but this is a good example of what these dashboards do for end users. So when the program areas are reviewing this is the kind of story that we're looking to tell is, you know, we had a large portion of first choice applicants and that's kind of shrinking. So we'll ask ourselves, did a new program open up somewhere in Ontario? Was there a reason for that? And then our demographic information. We can see the age groups of all our students within this program. And again, we can drill down into their gender if we wanted to. We want to see how many females, how many males in that age group. And then our attrition. We can see our average attrition from semester 1 to 2, 16.6%, our average attrition from 2 to 3. And this is a very key indicator for us. Why are we losing 16% of our students in the first semester? Okay. A lot of our students now are only 17 years old, coming straight from high school. And we have seen an increase in our attrition in the first semester, mostly due to age categories. So, and that's where this graph comes up here of, you know, how many students do we have in that age category? And you see that we have 16, 17-year-olds starting out in college. But the main age group is 20 to 24. So those are the kind of questions that we're asking. Now, every program goes through these. They look at the data. Sometimes they don't quite understand, and users don't understand what the data is telling them. So that's where I come in and try and help explain what the data is saying, where I'm getting the data from, and how it compares to other colleges. The last dashboard I'll show you is for our recruiters. We didn't have a way before Informer to easily pull out where our students were coming from. And as I said before, every college has a catchment area, a geographic catchment area where you're expected to draw the majority of your students from. And as you see, we do draw the majority of our students from our own catchment area, but we also have another big catchment area, Georgian College, which is about 3 hours away from us. And from that, we can see what is the biggest draw for those students coming from outside our own catchment area. And you see it's practical nursing or police foundation is our biggest draw. Not only that, we have over 50 school boards in Ontario and over 5,000 high schools. So we like to see where our students are coming from, our main students. It's not possible to recruit all over Ontario just because of the geographical size of it. So we need to be strategic of where we send our recruiters. And this shows our top school boards that we draw students from. This one here, Rainbow District School Board. We can see what the high school is that these students are coming from. We can also see what is the main draw. What are students from Espanola High School attending? And we can see it's culinary and social service worker. And we can see that for every high school in Ontario. So if we know that Espanola High School maybe offers a high skills majors in culinary, and that's why we're pulling somebody culinary, we're going to send recruiters there to talk about culinary. We can really drill down and be specific on the programs that we're promoting at a certain college or a certain high school. And the same thing, that was applications, and this one is enrollment. So those are some of the dashboards that we're using, just a few of the many that we have. And I've showed you that these would all be applied to different teams. So this one was recruiting. The first one I showed would be administration. And the third one would be faculty or quality department for program reviews. But as you can see, we love the drill down function, the sort function, and these dashboards, especially the program review, are attached to about 5 different data sets. So we're using different data sets for the same dashboard, which allows us to pull information from multiple areas all into one to group them more like a data warehouse for a dashboard.
That is incredible, Terry. Thank you again for showing us these use cases, and we'd love to see what you're doing with Informer. So yeah, Terry, thanks again for showing us all your, those examples and those dashboards. They were some truly great visuals. You've done an awesome job, and it's so nice to see the end product and what you can get from the information, because it comes in rows and rows of data, but you've transformed it into ways that's usable for anybody. Anyone can make informed decisions based on that data. So again, Terry, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you again for sharing your story. In summary, you can't trust the data unless it is transparent. They've got to see what they are, seeing, and there can't be some spin on the data. Dashboards are a tool that make data accessible to everyone. They don't have to look at rows and rows of data. The last point is that data-driven decision is important for anybody, not just for your IT. Putting people in touch with their data, it all allows, for better data decisions to be made. Once again, Terry, we can't thank you enough. We're so proud of what you've done, and thanks everybody for joining us today.
Thank you.